Hi everybody, welcome back to Season 2, Episode 1 of the Neck Podcast. This evening I'm joined by the lovely Niamh. She's after inviting me over to her forever home, which she fought tooth and nail for, but she finally got. How are you today, Niamh?
I'm good, thanks very much, and thanks very much for having me.
Thanks very much for coming on.
I'm delighted to be here. Very grateful to be here to be sharing your episode 1 of all the madness that goes on in this home.
I know, but it's reality, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely reality. Yeah,
It's real, it's raw, and people
Yeah.
need to hear it.
yeah. That's it. Like it's a life of. It looks easy on the outside, but on the inside, it's a whole different story. It's like, don't get me wrong, there's good days, there's brilliant days, but you also have your heavy days. I know I say I feel good today, but if I was to actually be very honest, like, I think today was a day of just another day of grief, I suppose. Ollie got his walker home today, that I've been fighting for. There's a lot of question around of whether he'd be capable for it or not.
Is it an emotional day?
Yeah, a day of grief of where it made me recognise much I take for granted, even just walking to the shop or getting up out of bed. It's like that grief hit again to recognise, and it's like a reality to realise that he'll never do that, and he'll always rely on me to get him out of the bed or to do these things. So when I seen him in his walker today, and like just the pride in his face, like, it was, I couldn't, I just couldn't explain it. And it was like, it would have never have happened if I didn't fight for this home. There was a lot of question around the last place that I was living in, whether it was suitable for Ollie, to the extent of where, people are even talking about residential for Ollie, because he is so complex. And people look on the outside like he's a happy little boy in his wheelchair and he's smiling, and yet he looks great. He does look great because I maintain that. I give him his meds 4 times a day. I give him his feeds. I make sure he's okay. He goes to his appointments, everything like that, to maintain that. But for quality of life to Ollie, there's also a lot to that, having a medically complex kid that mothers sometimes don't have control over. Like living in the environment that I was in the past can be inspected as environmental neglect. And it's not got to do with me or my fault or that, and it's got to do with, like, well, he can't stay here if they're not going to give you somewhere else. So unfortunately, the corporation weren't seeing that at the time until I suppose we had to get a solicitor onto them. And it was like, in fairness, within 2 weeks we were offered something. It was like they seen the seriousness of it and the level of his disability. Like, Ollie's smile just covers a lot. When he sits in his wheelchair and people see him, they think he's a little boy that can do things for himself. But in reality, like, Ollie can't sit up, he can't walk, he can't hold things for himself. He can't move, he can't roll over. Like, when he gets into his wheelchair, it's because I've transferred him from his bed to his wheelchair. And I suppose today, for him to have that little bit of freedom,
You had to achieving something else. You've achieved another thing.
I've won the lotto. Like, I've won the lotto. And, a lot of people want the best for their kids, but I want a quality of life for my child. I want my child to be like, the first thing he done was came over to the church and he was pulling out with him. And I was like, I haven't seen him get up to mischief yet. So it was very heavy. It was a full moment, but a very emotional moment. And the cheeky little boy that he is, like, was just laughing. Like, he knew no different. But when I was looking at as the outside as a mother, it like,
what was Indy like looking at her brother?
bro, she couldn't believe it. She was just so like, bro, are you walking? Are you walking? And she was like, walk to Sissy. And she was like, Mommy, you can come and walk with us now, and things like that. And of course, she wanted to be having a shot at walker. That's what she does. But like that, he was just overjoyed that he could walk towards his sister. Like, even with the remote, when you just say, want that, and I was saying, go on, you can get the remote, and I wasn't handing it to him. And then it was like, then it clicked with him. He was like, I'm free. And he was like moving over towards it, and when he was going to get it, then he was recognizing that he could grab it. But I suppose where the grief comes in is that, you know, even though, like, I'm very, very grateful for the piece of equipment that he's got to help him walk, but it's like, it took me, he's 5 in November, and it's took this long to see him actually walk around his own home and just enjoy being able to move freely with him. Yeah, and to be that little boy. And it's a feeling that it's so hard to explain. But it's so joyful, and it was exhausting for the fight of it all, but
you made it. You made it.
Yeah, definitely.
You've achieved an awful lot lately, haven't you, Niamh?
Yeah, well, in the last year, I have to say now, my life has just took a whole 360.
You just look so happy.
I am.
You do.
Yeah, I am. And I suppose, I think that was a huge part of my own healing. You know, grief is a hard thing, and one thing I understood, and I was taught by professionals, like, you know, grief doesn't always happen when someone is dead. And it took for me in the last year to heal, to lose friendships, to just recognize what I have. Like, them 2 kids they're my life. They're what I focus on. And when I started to do that, it was like, I healed the inner me. Like, I heal, like, I have, like, I've no what would you say, like, I've no grudges, I've no heaviness, I've no nothing, I've no judgment towards anything or anyone in life anymore. It's just me and my 2 kids. And since I've done that, like, I've got me home, things have just bloomed, like, even with myself, with Ollie, with Indy, with me home, like, even financially, even how I just look and manage things. I'd have never thought, when I look back a year ago, I'd never thought I'd have been in this position now. And it's one of the most full circle times of my life. Like, I never, and one thing that does kind of, when I sit back in, what I say, it doesn't hurt me and it doesn't feel heavy, but it makes me feel proud that
so you should
I done it alone. Like,
Some
I didn't
woman.
do it with family or friends or anything. I done it with me.
Yeah.
You know, and like, no matter your situation or your circumstances, it's like, it's possible.
Yeah.
It's definitely possible, you know.
Don't give up.
You don't give up. What you do need to give up is toxic relationships, whether it's with family, whether it's with friends, whether you just need to focus on that inner person that you are and what you want in life. Because at the end of the day, not like, people can say like they care and they want to be there, but at the end of the day, they don't care. You know, like, when you're sitting there and you actually have a day where you're struggling, or where you're finding things hard, or your mental health isn't well, no one's there.
Yeah.
No one's
You're
there.
in these 4 walls with your 2 children.
Exactly. And that's where I recognised is also when I have my good days, I'll spend my good days with my kids, with people that appreciate it, rather than, people that just,
I love that for you.
it's just reality, I suppose. Like, I'm comfortable in my own company, and I'm comfortable around. I've got one really good friend, and that's all I need. Like,
that's all anyone needs.
Yeah. Someone that just is there to pick up the phone and listen when you need it, and just to be there.
I think as you get older, you realise it's quality over quantity.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to be around full of fake people. You'd rather sit in it on your own with your 2 babies.
Yeah, definitely. And I suppose, like, I never expected life to go like this, but I went through a lot in a short period of time, and it was like, I'm a big firm believer of faith, and it was like I was shown these things for a reason, because it's only like I feel and I feel it's only the beginning for us here, and we needed this fresh start. It's just, there's no words for it. There's absolutely just no words for the pride I feel, for the happiness, everything that I feel. The minute
I heard you've got this place, my heart bursted for you.
I couldn't believe it.
I was so happy for you.
I remember the day they rang me and they were like to go view it, and they were saying it was a duplex, and I was like, a mad woman. I was like, a duplex? How do you expect me to get my child up the stairs? Blah, blah. And I remember he was like, Niamh, just come view it. He was like, there's a 3-bed apartment and then there's the duplex. And I was like, an apartment? So you want me to go from an apartment? And I felt so ungrateful. So I remember I was just like, do you know what? And he was like, just go view it or whatever. So went to see the apartment, and it was really big. It was a 3-bed and it was really big. But I was like, it's the first floor. I was like, if the lifts are ever broke, it's like going from the same situation to the next. So
never put yourself back into the same situation.
So he was like, to view the duplex, and when I came in to view it, I was like, this is not a duplex. Like, there's nothing over me or like that. Like, the upstairs and downstairs is all mine. There's no apartments, nothing over me or anything. And I remember storming in and just seeing the stairs, and I was like, no, how am I meant to get Ollie up here? So I thought his bedroom was upstairs, and he just let me. He let me just go upstairs and have that little run. He came back down, and I was like, I thought this was a 3-bed, and he was like, Niamh, you've just bypassed all downstairs. And I was like, and I just stood, and in the middle of me sitting around, looked around, and I was like, seeing Ollie's bedroom, seeing the bathroom was down here, seeing me sit around kitchen. I was like, what's the odds of this? What is the odds? His bedroom, my bathroom.
What was the first thing that came into your brain?
When I seen that, I genuinely had just tears falling down my face, and I was like, I'm taking it. And the housing officer, he even had tears in his eyes, and he's like, I've never,
I was sobbing watching your video.
He even admitted, he was like, I've never seen a reaction like this in my life. I literally put my hands on my face and sobbed and sobbed and sobbed, and just kept saying, thank you, God, thank you. And as I said to him, I said, this is not just a home to me. This is not just wanting a new home. I said, this is a quality of life for my son. This is somewhere my son can grow, my son can progress, my son can live happily and comfortably, where he can get his equipment, his comfort, where he can live. I was like, and no feeling can come next to that. So it was a really, really full circle moment, and I couldn't believe it. For weeks, it wasn't dawning with me. And then it was only until when we actually moved in fully, I was like, I done it. Yeah. And when I recognised, like, I done it alone, like, I was like, it was me ringing up, it was me getting letters, it was me doing everything. And I think what it was that a lot of family and friends as well, like, on that, I just had no energy or time for them anymore. But it's like, they'd be like, "Oh, you deserve this, and I can't wait for this and that." Not one of them have even come down to see the place.
That's how happy they are for you.
Yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? Like knowing, like one of my friends would come to visit. That's it. Like, but even down to family or wherever, like I was here weeks before, and the only time that family did come down was when it was a situation they were dropping something down. Like it was not like in the intention of, oh, we can't wait to see our new place, or
Coming
like
down to see where
being
you're gonna be
genuinely happy.
living.
So that's where like it confirmed to me, like I was already after taking a step back, but it confirmed to me like you're on the right path. This is your new start. And I just like, it's just great. Like Indy having their own room, Ollie having his own room, me having my own room, like, and it's like it's huge. You know what I mean? I never expected it to be this big. I'm still kind of,
all your blessings are flooding in.
Yeah.
But they're not things that you didn't put the work in.
No.
You fought. You didn't give up.
No. And I've put a hell of a lot of work into myself and just what I want in life, you know, and I'm still not where I want to be, but it's the start of it all. I have comfort
not where
now.
you used to be.
Well, that's it. And it's the start of
I can't believe the glow off you and just the glint in your eyes, and you just look so happy.
I've never been so comfortable. And I remember I had I don't know if you know Jen Healy. I done a lot of her work, online work. And I remember one day when she texted me saying like, "Your home is beautiful," and I remember responding to her, but I was crying responding to her because that was the first time I recognised I feel safe at home.
Yeah.
I feel like this is my home. This is my place. This is where, you know, I've put so much healing into myself. And because of that woman, I'll never take that credit away from her. She had so much patience with me and she taught me a lot. And at the same time, I'm like it's all just aligned. Do you know what I mean? Like it's all, and I still get people like that ask Niamh, how do you do it? It's not about how do I do it. I have to do it. Yeah. I've no choice to do it. But it's doing it in a healthy way. Doing it in a way where I'm not feeling the hurt and pain and the pity of that this is my life. I was given this life because I'm capable of this life. And that's what I recognise now, that, you know, I'm capable of these responsibilities and I'm capable of doing what I need to do. And there'll be no better mother for my two children, you know, and I know that, and no one could ever take that from me.
See that little lady you're raising? She is going to be one hell of a woman.
She's definitely she definitely has a lot of potential, but she has a lot of attitude too.
Yeah,
but
she needs.
Yeah, she does need to. And she's brilliant. She's brilliant with her brother. And even with myself, like she's like a best friend to me now. She's obviously there, she does get on the nerves, but
a little too sassy.
Yeah, she's 6, like she's going to do that.
She's a little girl.
Yeah, exactly. But like that, she adores her brother. She understands him so much. And she grieves her brother too. You know, she grieves that he's not doing, like she asks a lot of questions. Why doesn't he do this? Why doesn't he do that?
She's a little baby herself still.
Yeah, but she's also starting to recognise what reality is for her brother. And that can be hard sometimes as a mother because, you know, you're trying to explain to her and it's like, but why? So she's on her own little journey, and no doubt, like, she's definitely going to make a difference in this world. Like,
100%.
She's out there. Yeah. She's out there and doesn't care who anyone is, what they are, who they are.
To be that young and have as much compassion as she has.
And confidence.
And understanding, like, to other people's needs, feelings. That's just an amazing little trait to instill in a child.
Yeah. And she's so, she's just so understanding of situations. Like, she's, even with her kids, like, she's she's just different, you know, like it's like she's definitely, she's an old soul. She was here before, and that's what makes me realize, like, and in the last year, that this is my pattern. This is how it's meant to be. Like,
you're meant to have her, you're meant to have him, and it's meant to be like
it's meant to be like this, and this is life with just the three of us, because it is meant to be just. It's not meant to be anyone else in our life, just us. And it just works perfect like that. Like, you know, like we're happy like that. And you know, I do get people like even say like, oh, like, I wouldn't be able to do this or that, blah blah. You know, I can't imagine how you do it. Like all that, but I don't even respond to anything like that anymore, because I don't need PE. I don't need PE. My kids don't need PE.
100%.
Nothing like that. I actually PE them people that feel they need to PE me, because I'm like, I PE you because you feel you can't do it without your partner or your family or whatever it is.
There's a lot of talk about a village, like you needing a village to raise a family. Look at you.
You don't need a village. You need routine. You need discipline, boundaries, and make time for yourself. Now,
100%.
I wouldn't say I'm great at that now, but like
we're
working on that. Well, yeah, exactly. We're working on that. But like that, like it's just all balance. Like you just have to balance it out. Like I know, like it seems hard. Like it is hard. Don't get me wrong. Like it is hard. But what I find is hard is just keeping up with appointments and entertaining them and everything. But like emotionally, I would never change a thing.
Yeah.
Ever, 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 ever change a thing.
Most rewarding job you would ever do in your life, seeing them smiles. Yeah.
Even when Ollie wakes up in the morning, he's like, "Mammy, Mammy, Mammy." Like that's my wake up call every morning. Indy is not a morning person. Like, yeah, there's more than the house every morning, more than. But like that, what Ollie, like he'll just, when I give out to Indy, he just laughs, at it, thinks it's hilarious, and I'm like, we're going to get to a day one day, so
give it a few years.
But this is it. If he keeps going the way he is in the walker, it won't be far behind. But yeah, no, it's like, it's beautiful, and that's what I do say. Like I don't need a village or anyone, and I know like today will come when someone does come into my life that accepts me situation or understands it and does, but like I'm in no rush, I'm in no hurry, and
the right person will find you.
Yeah.
And when he does, he's finding some hell of a woman.
I mean? He is finding a hell of a woman, but he's also playing Russian roulette for the madness that he's going to take on. But it's in a good way.
It is in a good way.
It's in a really good way, and it's just like it's every day. It's just a wholesome feeling. Do you know what I mean? Like every day I get to go to bed just so grateful and realizing that I done it. Like it's not.
You did this.
Yeah, even like the way Ollie's been progressing, it's all down to me. It's not down to family or...
You're kicking barrier down after barrier after barrier. Anything that gets put in front of you, you're just romping it.
I think that's like, a bit of a trauma
really
response as well, though.
You're just defeating the odds that's stacked against you, and I love it.
Yeah, and I think a big part of that to play is that as I've healed on my journey is to learn not to depend on anyone.
Yeah.
Like to not ever depend on anybody. Because you were just left disappointed. And I know people say you need your village and you need your friends and you need this. And this is where I do try say, no, like you really don't.
I just feel like you need whoever makes you happy. You know, and that's your babies, your kids.
My kids, and like that, yeah, exactly. It is like, and you know, yeah, you'll always have one or two good people there to be by your side. You know, and that's all that matters. Most nights I fucking sit here talking to the walls, or I'm knees praying to God. Like, and
I'm on my own quite a lot as well.
Yeah, and you know, it does get lonely. I won't lie about that. It does get lonely, and you do get very like wishing that you had someone there, but it's not meant to be like that right now.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And when it is meant to be like that, that everything is about timing, and that's what I realized was to just slow down, and you know, if you try rush it, you're just postponing it.
Well, I feel like
No.
you're loving yourself an awful lot more.
Definitely.
And they
Definitely
say
washing
when
the
you
hair
love-
a little bit more.
They say when you start loving you,
Yeah,
other people start seeing you differently too.
yeah, definitely. And you know, like I've always been an understanding person, but I suppose I have started loving myself more. But I've also started recognizing where to put my energy and what to accept and what not to accept. Like before, I'd have been very vulnerable and just thought, like, you know, if someone's, you know, I'd have just accepted a lot that I shouldn't have accepted. And like now, people might think I'm stubborn, people might think I'm whatever they want to think, but it's not. I have my boundaries. I know who to give me time to. I'm not going to give me time to someone that I know is not in my life or is irrelevant or anything like that.
Time's too precious.
Yeah, exactly. And especially around even like Ollie, like, you know, like it's no one will have access to that little boy or have the audacity to even say that they know that little boy when they haven't been in his life. Me and Indy know that little boy, and that's all that knows my little boy. Anyone else after that does not know my son. And he's a special little boy, and I'll never let anyone else take that credit to think. So I've become very
You've established a lot of boundaries,
yeah, and
healthy ones.
And that's it. And you know what? People that have their opinion, they're allowed to have their opinion. They're entitled to have their opinion. But it means jack shit to me, you know. I'm still going to keep growing.
What would you like to say to them people?
You know, it's your own problem. Really. It's their own problem. It's their own thing to deal with because their opinion does not even
they don't pay
it doesn't even bounce off, but it doesn't even bounce off me. Like it doesn't even it's irrelevant. It's just completely irrelevant.
Girl.
It doesn't faze me, doesn't trigger me, doesn't nothing. Like I don't listen to anything he said, she said, whatever it is. If I get an off vibe, okay, you're allowed to feel like that. Bye.
Everything you've been through in your life, why would it like that?
But everything I've been through, but the time and effort I've given to other people as well, people forget that. A lot of people forget that. And that's where I've healed myself a lot, is that, you know, they're allowed to feel like that. They're allowed to have their opinions. Doesn't mean it's always true.
It's refreshing to see.
They can have their outlooks. A lot of people in life feel they're allowed to have their opinion, but you're not allowed to have yours. Yeah. And that's the problem in this day and age. So I just took myself back from it all, and I leave them in their own circus. And
how did none of this, like in everything, between Ollie's diagnosis, between everything before with your childhood, with everything you've gone through with mental health, due to stress, your own health, how did none of this make you bitter and hard? And how are you just this little Miss Sunshine that has so much love to give still?
I feel, in a way, everything I went through with Ollie was a getaway from what could have ruined me. If I didn't get Ollie's diagnosis, I'd never got away from a relationship that was breaking me, that was dragging me down, that was just no good for me. And everything due to mental health or people or anything not even being there is, and people get triggered by this, and this is where the judgment comes in, is because people are triggered of my strength.
Yeah.
And I've never admitted that before, but I know they are. I know they are. And people have no reason to judge me, or I'm not far from perfect, but I admit my wrongs.
Yeah.
I admit I'm not perfect and I've done wrong, whatever, but I'm a good person and I've always been a good person, and I never do anything out of spitefulness. But people that feel where they've done me wrong, or even life experiences where it went wrong, where I should have went better, is because I was being taught a lesson. Don't get me wrong, when I'm sitting here by my own, I'll cry and I'll say, what's the answer? Like, what's going on? Whatever. And I figure it out.
Yeah.
I figure it out is because me deep down as a person, I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be bitter. I don't want to be that person. So if I was to feel like that, that's just a symptom of emotion.
And it's giving them power over it as well, isn't it?
Exactly. And no one will ever have emotional power over me. Ever have emotional power over me, because I've gone through too much.
Yeah.
I've gone through too much, and I've stood tall. And what I need to remember is, since the age of 13, I've stood tall alone. And if I was to sit there and let someone break me later in life, I'm only letting myself down.
Yeah.
No one else. Because when I look through my life, no one has stuck around. Yeah, I mean, life might be a lot for other people, but it's a lot for other people is because it's real and it's raw, and their problems are just an equivalent of what my reality will be. And that's okay. That's how they feel. But then people that are going through that would also have family, even down to my own family. They'd have each other or whatever it is. Even down to some of my own family members would be intimidated by my strength. And all they can say is, you're so strong, you're this and you're that. People forget I'm human too.
Yeah.
You know, people forget I'm human and I sometimes need someone. And that's where I found God, because He was the only person that got me, and He was the only person that understood me. But He was also the only person that gave me the blessings that I needed, because He knew them people weren't family, even down to family. And it's hard, but I never hold hate and I never hold judgment. But it is what it is, you know.
You're going through things. If you don't have your faith, I don't think you have anything.
No. Before, if it was about 2-3 years ago, I'd be ranting and I'd hate everyone and this and that. But I've gone through so much where I realise, you know, I was made to be the stronger one. And I suppose when it boils down to other people not being able to do is because they're not fortunate enough to have the strength I have to be able to deal with what I deal with.
Yeah.
So I started to look at it as if I have a strength and a gift that other people look for, that I don't even recognise and I'm not using. So when I started to recognise that, it gave me pride. And pride myself. Now I still get days where I'm upset. I'll always grieve my son.
You're human.
Yeah, I'll always grieve my son. And I'll always grieve the life that I thought I'd have, but I don't. But I also know as well, someone will come along and be like, great, your time is up. I'm ready to take on your life and your madness and be there for me. So
someone's going to whisk you off you.
Well, I like to think someone just knock at me door and be like, right. But yeah, like the time will come when it's right and it'll all come to me, and you know, I'll be looking back and I'll be like, I'm glad. And that's where I feel like I have to back away from other people, is because I feel like even the person that I will get in my life will be someone that probably won't be my norm either, but will also be someone that won't tolerate the bullshit other people put me through.
Yeah. I think you need someone that's going to look after you.
Exactly. And
you
look
don't need
after
someone
me.
to look
Exactly.
after your kids. You do that.
No, but it'll be someone that'll do it with a genuine heart and intention and understand my situation.
Pour into your cup.
Yeah, yeah. And it'll be for me, it won't be about feeling sorry for me or pity or anything like that. Like, they'd be just wholly there for me. So, like, I do know them days are going to come. So I just hold on and I do what I can when I can. And, you know, some days are a struggle. Some days are hard, and I won't lie about that. But it can be lonely and a lot of questions of why, how, where, and when. But I do it. I get on with it, and I've learned to rely on myself. That's the one thing I say, is learn to rely on yourself.
For anybody that's watching at home that doesn't know much about Ollie's diagnosis or what you're like up against on daily as being a medical mother on your own, single parent, would you feel comfortable talking a little bit more about it?
Yeah. So Ollie has 4 forms of brain damage, and that was due to negligence. So he had a stroke inside my womb at 32 weeks that the hospital didn't detect, and where they should have given an emergency section, they didn't. So for him to survive another 8 weeks inside my room without any medical attention, like, that's where he's a miracle. He shouldn't have even came out alive. He's level 5 cerebral palsy, he has epilepsy, he's peg fed, he's dystonia, like the list just goes on with it all, and he's life limited, so no one knows what the future holds for Ollie. No one knows the time, the day, what he'll achieve, what he won't achieve. And that's where I don't give him special treatment, but I treat him as if he's capable, because he is capable. He's not mentally disabled, he's physically disabled. Like, he knows what's going on around him. Like, he's cheeky. He's very cheeky, and he's very demanding. Very demanding. Like, when he's like, want that. If you can't figure out what he wants, he's like, and he'll pull your hair, and he's like, as if to say, you stupid. Like, yeah. But like that, the reality of Ollie's life is like, he depends on me to feed him. He depends on me to change him. He depends on me to give him his medication. If he didn't get his medication, he wouldn't be here. If I didn't get him up out of bed, he'd be left lying in the bed. And so he'll depend on that for the rest of his life. And that's a huge thing to accept as a mother, and especially alone as a mother, when you are told you were given a healthy boy. And it's, he's the most happiest little boy that anyone could come across, but the reality is he'll never walk, he'll never sit up. He'll always need assistance with holding things or doing everyday average things. And what hurts me more is that he has the mental mentality of knowing what he wants to do, but he can't carry that out. And he gets so frustrated because he wants to engage, he wants to be involved, but he can't. And to sit back and see when your two kids are only 14 months apart, it's heart-wrenching. Like, there's no words for it, it's a feeling that I can't even explain, because I just wish life wasn't like this for him. He's so bright, and he's so intelligent, and knows what he wants in life, but he'll always depend on me for the rest of his life. And to think that he was a healthy baby up until 32 weeks is what breaks me. And if he was sectioned and took out and brought into NICU or got that medical attention, that he wouldn't be as severe as he is.
Did you go to the hospital at 32 weeks?
Yeah, so I was in preterm labour. They were giving me Petadine, they were giving me gas in there, like, they were ready, had NICU team ready, like, they were ready to go. They were ready to deliver. And then things started calming down on the monitor, and they told me they'd keep me in for a week to monitor me. Had really bad hyperemesis with Ollie. And they told me that I was just putting a lot of stress on myself, blah, blah, blah. And things calmed down. They kept me in for a week and whatever. Then got out of hospital. They were giving me scans every 10 days up until I had him. Still didn't say anything. When they delivered him, still didn't say anything. It's only until a few months, when he wasn't eating, he was dropping weight, he had a bad seizure, they done a brain scan. And when they done the brain scan, they told me he just had a global developmental delay, which I was like, can deal with that. Then he was under St. Michael's House for that, and the doctor here kept saying, I know there's more to this little boy. They were like, he's too, like, his muscle tone, he wasn't eating, he ended up getting an NG tube in his nose to eat before he got the peg. And she said, do you mind if we refer him to neurology to take a second look and give a second opinion of Ollie's brain scan? And I was like, no. I was like, but they told me what they found in Tala Hospital. I'm presuming like that's what it is. So she said, there's no harm in a second look. So I said, right. The professor there took a second opinion, and he was just like, there's 4 brain abnormalities on Ollie's scan. And I was like, that couldn't be. And he's like, I don't know what they seen, but I'm telling you what I'm seeing. and this is on the exact same scan. So I just like, I was just broken. Like, I didn't know what, and they didn't know what was to come of Ollie. Like, from to even get this far, like he was meant to be here for me. I don't care what anyone says. Like, he was sent to me, and what I find a coincidence, my granddad died at 52 years of brain damage. He fell down the stairs and died of brain damage. And I was like, for me to get a little boy with brain damage,
No idea how it's like.
I was like,
Sent from heaven.
but even when they said like he'd be bedbound, he'd be this and that, and how he's progressing, how he's just so like, he knows no different. He's just resilient, and I still can't wrap my head around it all. I still can't. Like, I'm still trying to figure it out. But it's painful, it's hurtful, but it's also the most beautifulest gift I've ever got to hold, experience, look after, everything. And I know, like, I've Indy, she's my best friend, but with Ollie, he really, really keeps me going. But he's also made me realise and wake up to a lot of people around me. So
It's tough.
very tough. Very. Yeah. Realise, I suppose, the qualities of life, like how precious life is, and that you can't, you can't focus on what's not there as much as you're longing for someone to be there for you. You need to just look around what your reality is and how your reality is. There's a lot more than just having a medically complex child. Like, you're responsible for meds, to hydrate him, to move him, to feed him, to change his pad, to everything. Like, from I think a big thing that made me wake up and realise that it was nothing personal with people, but it was that they just didn't get it, was when I started meeting with other families, like from Lorraine. And that was a huge thing that I had to accept, that my son needed these services like Jack and Jill or Lorraine or full-time care, people can imagine that they could do it, or if they had a child like this, oh, I'd do it all by myself and this and that. But in reality, it is us as mothers, we born out. You can't do it 24/7 around the clock. Like, Ollie's on a feed overnight. If he has seizures during the night or whatever, you need that time off. And I think it's the care that he's under that made me wake up how serious it is too. I remember the first time I went to Laura Lynn with Ollie, and I just couldn't accept it, because like, that's a children's hospice, and you're just like, how does your child need these type of services? How is this, or why is it like this? Like, I'm still in a bubble of, I want the best for him, but also accepting the reality that anything could happen too. And a lot of people just see the happy Ollie and think, oh, you're doing great, or this and that. They don't see the reality of what it actually is and the responsibility of what it is, while also still having to care for Indy, and look after her and give her needs.
Your house is like a little hospital.
Yeah, it is. And it'll always be like that. It'll always, like, he's a hospital bed, he's a feeding pump. And I do see some people, they go in with their kids with cold, and some kids at a young age, if they go in with cold, they need to be NG fed, and they get such a fright from that. And I remember I did at first when Indy was first brought into hospital, and she was only a few weeks old, and they put an NG tube in her, and I was traumatized. I was like, oh my God, like, this ain't like, and now it's like, I have an EBS machine, I've you know, I'm changing pegs out of his stomach every 3 months. Yeah, like a full-time nurse. But I still don't know how it's got here.
Yeah.
You know, I still try to, friends just kind of lose time for you, really, if that's what you want to say. Like, you don't hear off people anymore, or you just, it's like
We're just in a different
worlds,
place.
different worlds, different everything. And your circle changes. Your mentality, how you look at things changes. It's definitely not for weak people, and it's hard for people that have got support and have got partners. But for people that do it alone, like myself, like it's not as easy as people think. But
Yeah.
you'll still have people that will make their negative comments, but they won't last a day in your shoes.
No, definitely
not a day. And the hurt and the pain that you hold, like, comes next.
How has this journey affected your mental health?
A lot. An awful lot. I know I'm doing good now and a lot better than what I was, but I still get days where I cry and wish life just wasn't like this. We're affected to the extent of where you can't even go to a food shop unless you have someone to mind them. You can't get a wheelchair and push a trolley at the same time. It's simple things. Even with Indy, if she wants to go to a carnival, you know, she's missed many things like that because Ollie's just not able for her. And then it's not fair on him, but it's not fair on her. It's burnt me out completely, to the extent where at one stage I just didn't even know who I was, what was life anymore. And I had to snap out of it, because again, no one was there to pick up the pieces. No one was there to understand. No one was there to get it.
Who looks after Niamh when she has days like this? You get much support off services for yourself? I know Ollie does, but do you?
Not a whole lot, no. And like the friends and families, like, they might as well not be there. You know, like, no one knows if I'm having a bad day. Like, and this is the realistic side. If I was to do anything to myself, no one would know, because the only reason they would know is if someone got in contact with someone. Is because no one checks in, no one comes to see the kids, and that hurts in the sense of with family, or anyone even really, is because, yeah, I get it, probably I did distance myself at one stage, but I had my reasons for that. I was trying to deal and cope with something that should never be, and that is hard to accept, and I'll always find it hard to accept, no matter what anyone thinks or says. Like, I will always find it hard to accept. And for myself, I've hit rock bottom, but I've promised myself I'll never get to them stages again. I've always, suffered with mental health as a kid, and it's got to a stage where I don't want to be dealing with mental health all the time. Don't want to be feeling like I'm suffering, because I'm not suffering. I'm just overwhelmed by what I have to go through.
Of course, and you're exhausted, that's it.
Yeah. But at times I feel like there is days where I feel like I genuinely just can't get out of bed today. But I have to still go out of bed, and they're the days that kill me that nobody sees.
Yeah.
They're the days where I sit and I look at Ollie's feed or his meds for 15 minutes and say, I actually haven't got the energy to do this. But I have to do it, because if I don't, he's suffering. He's the one that's, and that's how the system is so broken, is because if I was so burnt out and I couldn't keep up with that, Susie would be quick enough to come on top of me. But who was there to say, like, you know, I know we get respite, but 2 nights a month, it's not a whole lot, and I'm not a robot.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a robot.
The one person trying to do everything.
Yeah. And some people around me get annoyed that I even send them to respite, between family or whoever. And
all the absent people have an opinion.
They're never here to come and take them, or
it's gas, isn't it? I
should
think
say
you
the
are
neck.
an absolute amazing mammy. The neck is right.
Yeah,
that can be
the
your neck this week. Fucking neck.
But
I think you're amazing. You're an inspiration to everybody. You really are.
It's not an easy journey, and I don't always have happy days. I don't.
I'd be only proud to call someone like you my friend.
And
or my family, or my sister.
And that's my problem. Like, I'm always the first to be there and try to resolve problems. But you have to just accept sometimes. Some people just think that this life is just too much for them. You know, they don't. It's like they get fed up. It's nearly like these 4 weeks, they get fed up of you here, of you crying, this and that, but they don't recognise, like, the grief never goes, or the hurt never goes. And that's my little boy. And
this is your reality, and this is it.
You fear every time he goes into hospital, is this it? You know? And every appointment, every hospital admission has been just me. And I always work it out. I always manage it. How? I don't know. I just do. And that's why I started looking after myself and putting more love into myself, was because I felt myself hitting a rock bottom. I felt myself letting myself go, and I said, I can't, like, my kids don't deserve to have an overwhelmed, stressful ma that just isn't looking after herself, you know. So that's where I just got my shit together, and it took a good while, but in the last year I really, really, really took a big turn.
You're glowing.
Well, I put a lot of effort into myself, and it's not like
And it's for your kids. You have a little girl. You need to let her see you have happy times.
And for myself
have
too.
a break.
Yeah,
you know,
because I want to enjoy life. Like, I'm still young, you know, and that's it. Like, I'm entitled to still live.
You have your whole life ahead of you.
I used to always be anxious about what I'd share and all, even on my stories, like, I was sharing a drink with everyone. I was like, but who is any of them to judge?
You're well entitled to have a drink.
Exactly. And as I said, if I was having a drink every night of the week, who was anyone to fucking judge? I still get up to them kids. Still look after them.
Your kids are so well looked after. What do you do in your own other time? It's none of anyone's business.
Exactly. And, you know,
people just time now for you. And the more you do find yourself and love yourself for who you are, you're going to keep wanting to go out, do things. Even if it's not having a drink, you're going to want to be going places.
And I'm not a big drinker, but I do like to, like, go out, or even if it's just for food, or even just to, like, my self-healing class, whatever. Like, I'm entitled to do that for myself. But some people just, I think when you have a life like this, like, oh my God,
begrudging it of
that's what it is, begrudging of what it is, but I'm entitled to it. So that's why I do what I want to do when I want to do, and I couldn't give a shit what anyone thinks anymore. It's like, you have a problem, that's your problem.
Isn't that bleeding great?
It's your own problem. You know what I mean? You sort that out, because something got to do with me.
Isn't it great about we're just always evolving, always growing, like, the amount of things, like, that's just so different about our whole thought process now, because you've cut certain people off, you've focused on yourself, you've given yourself that little time.
I think if I didn't, I'd be in a reckless stage, and that's not who I wanted to be. And now when I reflect on it, I'm like, I come in a home, do my own homework, look after my kids, they have the best of everything. And it's all because of myself.
And your house like a show
And that's on social welfare.
It's absolutely
so
beautiful.
Like, whoever says they can't do it on social welfare is lying. They're just lying.
Come live with me.
Literally come live with me. Because, you know, as I said, it's all about balance. And once you find that happiness in yourself, like there's no, just a huge turnaround.
What
Like,
are some things that you do when you do get, I know you don't get much time, jeez, I know. But when you do get the little bits of time, even what's things that makes you happy?
having a shower in peace.
Watching a
Going to
movie?
get me hair done, or just sitting on the couch, or
Little
just
things.
doing nothing. Just doing nothing. Yeah, the basics. Going for a walk, going to do my shopping, being actually able to look at what I'm buying. You know,
Yeah.
the littlest things.
The little things that people sometimes take for granted.
For granted, yeah. And that just means the most to me, like more than enough to me, you know. It's I never take anything for granted. Even in the mornings, like I've said when they're in school, if I feel tired, I'm like, I'm going back to bed for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I don't care,
Giving
because
yourself
I know I'm going to clean after dinner anyway. So I'm like, why do it twice when
there's no one going to break in there?
no one comes to see me anyways to see me mess. So I'm like, fuck it. Do you know what I mean? Don't people, do you know, me in my head thinking like miraculously someone's just going to be like, oh yeah, go see Niamh today. No, be left waiting. Left waiting. Unless it's my Prince Charming that is like,
Or the postman
round
delivering the post.
he doesn't even come to me though, he goes to the post joke in the flock. So yeah, see no one.
Okay.
People watch out my window saying, yeah, one day someone's gonna come to my door and be like, you Niamh? I'm gonna be like, yeah, why?
Be on a horse.
Someone wants me. But yeah.
I have another question for you. What does being a mother mean to you?
Everything. Like, everything. I would not be who I am if I was a mother. I think I'd be dead if I wasn't a mother. That's kind of the truth. Or I just would not be the person I am if I wasn't a mother. They saved me, and in many ways. And I know people try like to feel sorry or pity or take advantage of single mothers, but I'm not one of them. I was meant to be a single mother.
Yeah.
I was meant to.
You're killing it, aren't you?
And as hard as my situation is, like, I couldn't picture someone do it with me.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. It means everything and more to me. It's grown me into the person I am. It's made me recognise my true meaning of life, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
It's given me my childhood back that I always craved. I wish I had.
It's absolutely lovely there.
Even getting to read like India stories at playing, whatever, just being in the moment, like it's everything to me.
What advice would you give to any other medical moms out there starting off their journey?
First of all is to let yourself grieve. Let yourself feel the pain. Whoever doesn't want to be by your side, they're not meant to be by your side. And to always remember every feeling you have is valid. And you're still allowed to go live life. You don't have to be a nurse or stuck inside indoors 24/7. Like, tell people to fuck off. Like, if you want to go and do your child's medication and feed and whatever, and get them minded and say, I'm going out for the night, go do it.
Yeah.
Go fucking do it. Don't restrict yourself, but also don't give so much of your time to people that can't be there for you. And to take it day by day. Take it day by day. And just enjoy it in the moment. And to feel, whether it's a sad emotion, a happy emotion, just let yourself feel it.
Yeah.
Go with the flow. Go with the flow. And people don't get it, tell them to fuck off. Genuine, just tell them to fuck off, because they don't deserve to be in your circle or going through what you're going through, because they're precious kids.
Yeah.
They're precious kids. and they're not given to everyone.
And
Definitely
given
not.
to those stronger warriors that can handle them.
I feel they're given to them strong warriors that would have went before their time, that weren't meant to go before their time.
Gives you purpose.
Yeah.
But it's the end this world.
As I say, you're not meant to go, but you would have went if you weren't given this child.
Yeah.
You're meant to stay. Yeah. And I always say about myself is I know I'd be dead if I hadn't got. I always said if I didn't have Ollie. Got to a stage where I don't even think even having Indy, because I knew she'd always be looked after.
Of course.
I think just having Ollie was like, there's more to me. There's more, there's more of a purpose to myself, and God just doesn't let me give up. So
you say God gives the hardest battles to the ones who can.
Yeah. I often wonder who he thinks I am. I'm starting to think I'm my sister
Superman.
because everything's been a battle. But got through it.
You did.
I've got through it
amazingly.
So these are definitely my happy years. Definitely my happy years. Now when it is all starting to align, but when I start to feel all that deep down is another time to come, but at the minute it's all starting to align and make sense.
I'm so happy for you.
I feel so happy. Like at the minute I feel so happy for my kids. I'm proud of myself. And I know in time I'll be so happy for myself. But at the minute I'm just processing it all in of how far I've got and the woman I actually am. Yeah. And I never say that about myself, but so proud of myself. So proud of myself. Yeah, so proud of myself, and nobody's opinion would ever knock me back again, or it just doesn't faze me.
I just wish more people could see women like you. I wish we could start putting people like you on pedestals for people to see how much of a real inspiration. Like everyone's so wrapped up with looking at bloggers, influencers, whatever.
I always say that. Excuse me. That's one thing I always say, and it's just, I'm very bluntly to the point, but it's like, I always say you can have a social media platform of bloggers and the newest things that are out and the newest products of everything that's going on, but to actually sit and, you can get up, you can, get up and do your posts, or you can get up and go to the gym, or you can go up and make your meals, but to get up and look after a little boy, that depends on you. Like, that strength is
second to none.
Like, going to the gym to me would be a luxury.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be inspiring to me. That'd be a luxury. I'd sit in the gym and be like, oh, great, get to walk on a treadmill. Yeah. Oh, God, it wouldn't be, or cooking a meal for myself, or getting to sit in the mirror and do my makeup, or me eyebrows. I'd be like, oh, I have to go somewhere now. I wouldn't be able to just record myself and be like, hi guys, bye guys.
I do reckon there's a big
I'd be like, I have to
argument
go somewhere now.
There's a woman like you. You wouldn't have the same hours in your day as what other people would have, because you're faced with an awful lot more challenges.
It's the reality of, I think that's why the younger generation are so insecure about themselves, because the pressure of social media is all about blogging and how you look and your image and the newest products and this and that. Whereas in reality, your strength is in, I suppose, what would you say, how you manage and deal with. And I know not everyone has medical kids, but I think medical mothers aren't recognised enough.
No.
They're not, nobody talks about medically complex kids. No one talks about the challenges with medically complex mothers or the challenges they go through. And that alone is a strength in itself. But it's like, if you're to share the realities of it, and I do try to share the realities of it on my page.
I love your page.
And I have kind of quietened down and gone a bit lazy.
Even my little sister said today she loves watching your page. She loves following all
I've
these
gone
journeys.
so lazy on it, but like that was because we do have all these bloggers and like people, and you know,
it's an intimidating
but
little pool, isn't it? Instagram, like, can be intimidating.
Yeah, and I think people forget about the reality of that when they put that camera down or the phone down. That's not their reality.
Yeah,
that's who they want to be or what they're trying to gain, or you know, trying to build their own confidence or whatever. Whereas when medical mothers are getting on and showing their life, it's reality. It's what we go through. And it can be intimidating to some people, and some people say, oh, they're looking for attention, but it's not. We're shown the realistics of how our kids live. Like, you're able to sit and show your child in a playground.
Exactly.
Well, this is what my child has to do today.
I think the more educated people get in things like this, like, people will be more understandable and ignorant to it.
Exactly. And it's like, but as I said before, they feel they have to pity us or, you know, feel sorry for us or whatever. And we don't need that. Like,
no.
We are the most, see, medical mothers, we are the most black humoured, dark humoured, sarcastic people you will ever come across in your life. Like, we are the least people that need pity. Nothing, like nothing. And it was only until actually one of the mothers said, Ollie was after getting his Puckamada's injection out of his bag. He was at being messing and he pulled it out. And I didn't even realise it until the mother said it to me, and I had the empty oven, and I was like, before anyone takes an absolute fit, I was like, I had the thing off, and she goes, oh my God, what's the coincidence? Like, the pen is actually for people to she was like, I was like, well, if they need it, it's here. I like, you know, like, but we're so like dark humoured to everything, you know, and people feel like they need to.
And you have like your own little community, whereas I'm noticing now in the last 2-3 years where all the mummies are supporting each other. They're all backing each other.
Yeah, definitely, because there's a whole lot going on behind the scenes with our medically complex kids. Like, just with HSE, with CHI, like, there's a huge amount of negligence in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
And you know, everyone can go out and talk about, and come here, I'm all for it. I support them all so much about autism and school places, and I'll always be all for them. But that has overpowered then what's actually going on with our children.
Yeah.
And you know, people might find it a bit blunt, but the way I want to explain it is every child does describe a school place, and autism is a very hard thing. But the attention they do deserve it. And I hope every child does get the places that they need in it. But in reality, it's pushed, and I've always said it, our children are always pushed in the background. The problems that our children deal with leads to the life being took. You know, if someone said to me, we can do this operation, then I'll give that child a school place. You know, and that's the way we'll always back these situations up. We'll always be there. We'll always protest with them. But that's how the system has gone now. It's gone so corrupt and mixed up because there's so much negligence in so many areas. The system doesn't know what to focus on.
Yeah.
The system doesn't know how to deal with everything. You know, down to the hip dysplasia, giving operations where they weren't needed. Then down to scoliosis, where they're not giving operations where they're needed. Down to not giving children with autism school places where they deserve their school places. Everything has gone so corrupt and up in the air that
you think the media and everybody go out of their way to shine so much light on one issue so they can leave another issue completely in the dark?
Well, in a sense, yeah, because when you think of it, like when you do the odds of it all, there's a whole lot more kids with autism than there is medically complex, you know, and fighting for therapies or skill places is a lot easier than fighting for operations that are going to save a child's life.
Yeah.
Looking for a skill, there's thousands of skills. There's only so many surgeons that are qualified in doing these these operations or carrying these out.
I understand you, yeah.
You know, that's where the barrier is. Nobody should be in any situation.
Of course.
And neither of them. And that's where the system is so broke. When you have a child like that, you just have to fear. Like, I only recently had an appointment for my child for his new second skin because his right side is starting to go down. And, you know, like, his right rib is sticking out. And that's where it all starts.
Yeah.
The scoliosis and everything like that. Like, that's, you know, they're prone to these things, but they're not intervening in them quick enough. And it's just heartbreaking because it's not just something that, you know, they're left to suffer and pain, they're left to die. It's not just something that you can fight for and they're still going to survive.
The whole system is fucked
They
up
could
in this
lose
country,
their life. Like, one child has lost their life, that has brought the light to everything. And I think that's the thing where is I think just the whole medically complex area of children, it's not recognised enough because up until 30 years ago they were hidden, you know. And then a lot of people just feel, as I said, they hear the stories and they think it's heartbreaking and they don't know what way to support it. But there's so much dark things happening behind the scenes with these children that a lot of them are losing their lives before they should.
Yeah.
We know they're life limited. We know they're not going to have a huge lifespan. Why let them go earlier than what they should anyway?
Exactly.
You know,
They
why
should
let them
still
suffer?
have the best quality of life while they are
And comfortable.
100%.
They shouldn't have to be gasping for air or in pain or anything, like even down to kids with like cerebral palsy. Like Ollie has cerebral palsy, he's level 5. He has mixed cerebral palsy, and even down to that, like getting operations on the muscles nowadays, it's like the surgeons are just so overwhelmed. But again, overwhelmed in their own reasons. They're overwhelmed because when you look at it, so many more teenagers now that are vaping, doing this, doing that, getting these lung problems, that lung problems, and it's all got to do with the generations. And medical mothers, we don't speak out enough. We're angry at the system, we'll speak to the system, but we don't speak out publicly enough as of what the reality and the consequences of our kids' lives is. But having you know, being put on waiting lists or just not being seen to when we should be seen to, or the intervention, let's say early intervention, can be fatal to your children. Like fatal. And that's the reality of it. And unfortunately, the system doesn't care the same way. They don't care about children needing, like, every child should have a skill place. Every child should have a skill place. They should have their therapies. They should have everything that they need. And
mothers like you should not have to be fighting tooth and nail for all these little things.
No. I suppose the situation for myself is that I just even hate to even speak about is when I did voice up and talk about for my son, I was took as an emotionally unstable mother because I was fighting for the needs of my child, and I'll never forget it.
Do you know, some people are daft.
Yeah.
They're just animals. I'm sorry.
But it's the system. They don't want to do it. They don't want to, you know, there's so much wrong going on. And what they need to look into is how their maternity hospitals are delivering babies and the care of what they're doing, because a lot of it is, like 80% of children, the way Ollie is due to negligence. It's not conditions or diseases or they had when they were born. was how they're being delivered, and that's something that's not looked into enough. That's something that's ignored. We all couldn't be wrong.
Yeah,
you know, we all couldn't be, and it's their lack of duty of care, it's their lack of, I don't know what modules they do, but at the end of the day, it's resulting in these children having life-limiting conditions or losing their lives, and there's no explanation for it. Giving millions of euro to the family is not going to solve that.
No.
It's not. You know, it might give them the quality of life they need, but they're not going to grow. They're not going to have a family. They're not going to have a partner. They're not going to have kids. They're not going to have happen like that.
Yeah.
They're going to be left with their mother or their father for the rest of their lives and depend on them. That's no way to live. And that's the real truth, the reality of it, that a lot of people don't see, but it is what it is.
I know these things are tough to talk about, but I think everyone needs to hear about them. Like
Definitely.
we need to all share platforms.
I've always said it. Maternity hospitals need to be looked into.
100%. As
As
long as it's sort of shit going on now.
A really, really long time, and even down to the levels of even just how kids are born and the amount of kids that go to NICU, to the point where a woman was sent down to Belfast, there was no NICU beds. Like, that should not be. That should not be. How is it that the pregnancies are fine up until birth? That gives the proof it's not the woman. The woman wouldn't have carried the baby this long healthy if she was the problem.
Exactly.
You know, it's the lack of the duty of care, and sometimes leave kids in too long, or sometimes they take, like, you know, it's appalling. And I always say the hospitals need to be investigated in, because it's not right and it's not okay. And as I said, giving families money, like, there's a court case on at the minute for Ollie. As I say, no money will solve how he is. He should have never been like that.
Yeah.
He was supposedly a healthy, perfect little baby boy. That's why he was handed to me wrapped in a blanket as, look at his life now. You know, who's responsible for this? Where did it go wrong?
Yeah.
How did it go wrong? How was a neurologist able to tell me his brain stopped growing at 32 weeks in my will?
Has anyone even acknowledged this? Like, has the hospital took?
Well, they won't until
accountability.
It goes to court. The scans prove it, the reports prove it. His brain stopped growing at 32 weeks gestational in my womb. That's when I went to preterm labour, and they didn't deliver him. I didn't deliver him till I was 40 weeks. So he was having his stroke then, and they didn't cop that, or they put it down to that I was putting myself under stress, and
didn't take you serious.
Didn't take Ollie's number serious on the monitor. And just as well, he is a little fighter. Like, as the neurology told me in Temple Street, that was me, if that was you, if that was most likely another child, they wouldn't have survived it.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
He's meant to be here today, and that's that.
And with a bang.
Yeah.
With a bang. You know.
What makes him smile now?
Me, Indy, and Dermo.
Dermo Kennedy.
Mamo. Yeah, he just, the minute he sees me or Indy in the morning, he's full of smiles.
I'd say that's so rewarding for you, even when you're burnt out and you're exhausted.
Yeah, I can't have a bad day around him. I can't.
His life.
I can't have a bad day around him, even if, like, I'm upset or at, and, like, I end up just hugging him, and I'm like he's just a light of life.
My little
the school
boy
says it, even his, like, the hospital, the ward that he does be on, like, he's, you know, he's known. Everyone knows John the Porter from Temple Street. I don't know if do you know?
No.
He was on the Toy Show and that, like, he's a porter. Yeah. He idolised Ollie. He just say, "You're my best pal. You're my best pal."
He's great with the kids, isn't he?
Loves them. And he just always say about Ollie, is like, "You just brighten up my day." Like, and he's known everywhere he goes. But even doctors that aren't on Ollie's team in Temple Street now, Ollie, they'd stop him, they'd talk to him. People in CRC, and I just like, he's just one of them kids, and it's all true. Like, he's just a light of life, and like, he's equivalent of a lump of gold, even more. Like, he's just priceless, and you know, I feel so blessed and lucky and privileged to have got a little boy like that. Yeah, like he's
That's
precious.
Lovely to hear.
He's precious, and that's why my boundaries are so high now. Is because not everyone deserves access to that little boy.
Yeah, you're dead right.
Yeah, he's too precious. He's too, you know, he's.
Does his dad help you out a little?
It's taken he struggles to accept Ollie. So no, he doesn't. You know, we might bring him for a walk or whatever, but you know, I suppose that's they're his own demons he has to face. I had to face them.
Yeah.
And I can't force that, but to be very honest, he's never been supportive. But I'm not one that holds grudges and uses my kids as weapons. You know, if he comes to see the kids, I can see them. If not, it's his loss.
Of course.
You know, and like, don't depend on that, and he doesn't pay maintenance or anything like that, or doesn't go to appointments or that. But again, that's his own issues. He needs to.
Big issues.
Before, I used to get angry about it, but I recognise that's obviously something he hasn't coped or dealt with in his own head, and I can't force him to accept it. So I've genuinely just moved on in a cycle of life in the last year where it's just me and my kids. Like, I don't depend on, no, not my family, not my friends, not their dad, nobody. Just me and my kids, and that's all it'll ever be.
Life with just the three of you.
Life with just the three of us, yeah. And that's exactly it.
Before we finish up, is there anything else that you would like to touch on? Anything you want to talk about?
I suppose just about never to be too hard on yourself, no matter what the situation is. And never give up on what you want to achieve, even if you have to go the long route. People with their judgment, let them have it. Don't let it define who you are. People that let you down, let them. It's for a reason. It wasn't meant to be that way.
Yeah.
And to just always focus on the people that live under your roof. Anyone else outside that door does not matter. Does not matter. No matter who they are. Doesn't matter. The people that live under your roof is all that matters. Because they're the ones that are going to spend the rest of your life with you. And to just always never feel that, even as bad as it does feel, you're not being punished. It's a lesson to be learned, or because in that time of crisis or moment, that person needs you. And always just be kind to everyone. Anyone that's angry to you, anyone that's judgmental to you, pray for them. Be kind and move on.
Love that. Pray for them. We're going to pray for you all.
Yeah, pray for yourself. I'll use toxic fuckers. Pray for yourself. Literally. Like,
and last but not least, what is your neck? What makes you think, then bleeding neck?
When Ollie goes over to respite and I enjoy a night out and people think that they can sit and judge me, but like they're on it every weekend.
There's
and
not
I'm like
one
that absolute
person
neck of them. They're on that. They're on, not even on the drink, probably on it every weekend. I'm like the absolute neck of them. If I want to have a break, yeah. When I get a break, it's like people get so judgmental. I'm like the absolute fucking neck of them.
There's no one on this land that can judge you.
Fuck off the neck, yeah.
You're amazing.
The neck is right.
The neck
I just
podcast.
laugh at them, literally. But yeah, that's my neck, is people that think they can judge when they haven't a fucking clue.
No.
Yeah.
No one can judge unless they walk in your shoes.
Exactly. Keep your opinions to yourself because they're relevant. Wasting your time and your breath and everything. you know, people do it for small talk because it takes the attention off their own problems. So
We'll see
it
you.
makes them feel good.
I don't know how
do it.
anybody could feel any bad animosity towards you or anything that
It's
you
not,
try
you
to
know,
do
it's
for yourself.
intimidation a lot of the time and just jealousy.
You're
I
just
think.
amazing. You really are. And in my eyes, you are super, Mammy.
Thank you.
You really are.
Thank
You're
you.
like an angel.
I only go up, I don't go down.
No,
Don't
you
look
don't.
back. No.
And thank you very, very much for coming
Thank you
on.
for having me on. I had a lovely chat, and I really, really hope it gives someone out there courage to know, you know, no matter what situation, you can do it.
Definitely.
Never give up. Yeah.
I think we leave on that note. Thank very much for watching and listening.
Thank you.
If you could like, share, and subscribe, we greatly appreciate it. And head over and follow on Instagram, Life with Just the Three of Us. Keep up with Ollie's journey.